Hey, Coach Craig, you're already here. Wow, you're did you add yourself onto the
No, I didn't. It's just magic.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, good evening. I'm Mrs. White once again. We have like a back-to-back workshop, parent workshop. I just came from Google Classroom workshop. That was awesome. Coach Craig, were you there?
Yeah, I actually was. I was watching along just to see how it went. And we had really good participation, lots of parents, and great questions.
That's awesome. And I'm so excited hosting this kind of presentation, especially if teachers, specifically from Magnolia Science Academy, putting up this kind of workshop for our parents so that they can support their students at home. Because we all know we're starting virtually, right? So our workshop this time is about Zoom meeting. So Coach Craig, what are you guys going to be tackling and sharing with our parents tonight?
We're really going to tackle Zoom and get your students and you ready to go day one on Monday so you can log in and not have any problems. That's the goal. So we're going to have a lot of parent tips about how to get prepared so your student can be stress-free on Monday.
That is amazing. So we're not going to take very long because we're excited. If just let us know who your what grade level is your student. If you're a parent of MSA, please let us know. If you're here, join us. Please answer ask some questions. We will be happy to answer anything that you might want to know about Zoom. And without further ado, Coach Craig, let's introduce all our teacher presenters and teacher moderators for today. We have Jackson. Hi, Miss Jackson. Miss Tracy. Miss Tracy.
Hello.
Mrs. Watkins. Hello, Mrs. Watkins.
Hello, hello.
Coach Oxford. Woo, we got our Zoom crew here tonight with us. So, Coach Craig, lead us on what's in store for our parents tonight.
So I'm going to start it off, and also Miss Watkins and Coach Oxford are going to help go through our tips for parents for Zoom. And then we have Miss Tracy and I have summer brain still.
Mrs.
I have
Jackson.
Mrs. Jackson in the chat helping out if you have any questions. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Still in summer mode. But yeah, everybody's helping out tonight.
Yeah, but before we do that, let's just ask each one of you, how are you guys doing? How's your afternoon? It's like it's been a long day. Yeah, Mrs. Watkins.
It was a good afternoon. It was nice and hot. You know, when it's nice and hot, I like to eat watermelon. So just finishing that up. Good summer snack. Good summer snack.
That's yummy. Mrs. Jackson, how are you doing?
Pretty good. The kids all took a nap this afternoon, including the dogs. So it's been quiet and chill and a nice afternoon.
Nice. And Miss Tracy, how's your afternoon? Did you get a nap or something?
No nap, but I'm doing great, and I'm already responding to messages in Facebook, so it's great. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. And how about you, Coach Oxford? Got your workout in today?
I did get my workout in today, so now it's just all about staying hydrated.
Ooh, yeah, stay hydrated. It's really hot today, so that's awesome. So, are you guys ready to roll? We're gonna get we're gonna get to it. You guys, if you have any questions, our teachers will also be answering some questions. But if we won't go through all the questions on the chat at the end of our presentation, we will be answering our questions for the last 15 minutes of our session tonight. So please feel free to ask any questions you might have about Zoom, and we'll be happy to answer for you guys. Let's roll, Coach Craig.
All right. So like I said before, we're really going to cover some Zoom tips to get you prepared and ready to go to roll out of bed on Monday morning and come to distance learning. As Miss White said, if you have a question at any time, put those in the chat, and Miss Tracy and Miss Jackson will get back to you with those answers. We'll also go through that at the end if there's something that a lot of people are wondering about. And keep in mind,
do you want to shout out to a couple of our visitors who are here? We have
Yeah, I forgot about that, right? I'm back.
Sixth graders. Hello, Anthony. Welcome and joining us. And then parent of Rylan, new seventh grader. Whoop, whoop. Seventh grade science right here. It's going to be exciting. A couple more. Ready for round 2. Uh-oh, does this mean we have multiples? New sixth graders too? Hello, everybody. Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Lisa Hernandez, her student is a sixth grader. And we also have Craig Hutchins, student is seventh grade.
Yes, seventh grade.
Isabel Vasquez, and a parent of an 8th grade and a 6th grader. Wow.
Two of them.
And of course, we have
Principal Sirs.
Mr. Sirs. Hello, Mr. Sirs. Back to back. Sweet. And we also have a good morning because people from the Philippines are also watching. Hello, Miss Ventusio. How are you doing? Good morning to you. And we have David Lopez, parent of a 6th grader. But we also have Mrs. Kiefer thanking us for doing this workshop. And we do this because we love our parents, right?
And I just wanted to send a special shout out to Simon. I think I know who you are, Simon. I'm really excited to have you this year. If it's the Simon I'm thinking of.
Yes, Simon's awesome.
Simon. Is this Simon, Mrs. Rossetti's?
Yeah. I think that's the one. That's the one.
That is awesome. Welcome. So please put in the chat. I'm going to go away now because you guys will present. All right. And I will be on the chat answering questions too.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Miss White.
Thank you, Mrs. White.
And last thing before we get started, keep in mind this is going to be on YouTube forever. So if you need to go back and look at it, or if you have a problem and you want to review it, it'll be on YouTube for you to watch later on too. All right, let's get started. So we have 2 words this year that you're going to hear a lot, and we need to know the difference. So one is synchronous and one is asynchronous. Synchronous is the Zoom. That is when we are all together live, and make sure you check your student's schedule on Illuminate to see those class times. So that's synchronous.
I like to think about synchronized swimmers, how they're all in the same action and same motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. The asynchronous we'll talk about a little bit later, but where can you find those Zoom codes to see your synchronous learning time? They were emailed to you in a document that kind of looks like this over on the left with all the teachers' Bitmojis. Right now, this is the 8th grade one, but each grade level got those mailed out through their email and Parent Square on Wednesday. So check your email, double check your spam, just in case you don't have it. If you don't, make sure you contact the front office so you can get those codes. The only one that's missing, that might be missing, I guess, is we have mixed grade level SSR classes. So if you don't see your teachers or your student's SSR teacher, don't fret. That teacher is going to be sending you the link via Parent Square or your email this week. These are also located on their students' global Google Classroom. So once they get on that first Zoom and they get their Google Classroom codes, they're always going to have access to that in case they need it. Then they don't always need mom or dad to get them for them. So all you do is click on the teacher's little Bitmoji picture and it takes you right to the Zoom meeting. So make sure your student signs in maybe 5 minutes early to make sure they're there on time, not 20 minutes early, but just 5 minutes early. They click on the Bitmoji and they're right to the meeting. Okay, so what is that asynchronous time then? That's not the live Zoom. That's going to be immediately after their live Zoom time. So during the live Zoom time, the teacher will be doing activities with the students, greeting them, getting to know them, and then they're going to describe what to do for the assignment. Once that's done, then they're going to go to their asynchronous time off Zoom and work on that assignment. So that's what the asynchronous means. And all of their assignments are located on their Google Classroom. And we just had that workshop right before this about Google Classroom. So if you're wondering about Google Classroom and you missed that, go on YouTube. You can find it on Miss White's page. All right, so I found my Zoom codes. What to do next? Now we need to know what time to show up. So you've been given a schedule on Illuminate with your students' classes and emailed the sample schedule. So let's take a look at that. This is going to be their Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday schedules. But we're doing a block schedule. So period 1 will be on Monday and Thursday. They'll see their teacher twice a week. Let's say they have English period 1. They'll see them twice a week. And then maybe Tuesday and Friday, they have their other 3 teachers. So they'll show up to their first period. Sorry, I needed to change this. They're not going to go to SSR first at 8 a.m. They're going to head to their first period to get those announcements. They're going to go to their first period synchronous, and then they'll go to their asynchronous work time. Then we have a break so they can use the restroom, get a snack, get up and stretch, get some water. And then they go to their period 2 class. Same thing, synchronous for 40 minutes and then independent work time for 40 minutes. Guess what? We get another break. This one's longer. They might need to do some more stretching because we've been sitting a little bit unless they had PE beforehand. But then they go to their 3rd period and then they're done with their classes for the day on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But there's more in the afternoon. Depending on who they are, everybody goes to lunch. And some of your students may need tutoring, and the teachers will share a tutoring schedule. It's optional, but definitely recommended if your student wants some extra one-on-one help. So those tutoring times will be available at also, there'll be clubs. Clubs are optional, but there's a lot of different clubs every day of the week that the teachers put on, and they're all fun. They're not for grades. So that's the schedule: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday is a little bit different because that's normally our shortened day if we were at school. So we have independent work time in the morning, and that work is all posted on Google Classroom. They should try to keep going on those breaks throughout the day. That's a good routine to have, because at 10 a.m. they go to their live Zoom for their SSR class. And like I said, that was coming in a separate email from their SSR teacher. Then they can take another break, and then they're going to a new class this year, Study Skills, and that is another live class. So on Wednesday, they have 2 live classes. And then after lunch, it's optional. So most of the teachers are in meetings, but if students need to catch up on work, or if they're all finished with their work and they want to relax, they can do that on Wednesday. All right, so let's get into Zoom. You're probably wondering how to log in. The students are going to log into Google first, I would recommend, because then their school email will be logged in and it's ready to go for all the programs they need to use. Make sure they're not logging in with their parents' email or their personal email. So next, go to the distance learning guide with the Zoom links, and they're going to click on whatever teacher's Bitmoji they have for that period. Zoom will open, and they're going to be asked to sign in. So I'm going to play a little quick video to show you a little bit more if you're a first-time Zoom user. And just to note that once you do this first, if you've never used Zoom before, you're good to go for the next times you log in. So if you're a first-time Zoom user, you'll have to do this the first time. Oh, whoops. I went to the wrong slide. Sorry about that. Okay, so I guess my sound is not working for the video, but that will be available for you guys later. We'll definitely share it with parents so you have access to that. I pretty much went through how you'll get on there, so it won't be as complicated as you think it is. So once they click on their Bitmoji and they go to Zoom, make sure they're signing in with Google and putting in their school email. All right, now here's Coach Oxford for some more information about Zoom.
All right. Thanks, Coach Craig. That was great. All right, so first thing, okay, we're going to talk about the waiting room. What is the waiting room? So you're going to get there, okay? Now, it could say two things. It could say that your teacher hasn't started the meeting yet. It could also say that you're in the waiting room, okay? If you get there too early, the teacher probably hasn't even opened the Zoom link yet, all right? So give it another minute or so, but don't give up, all right? But on the Zoom link in the waiting room, okay, then you're gonna see our waiting room, all right? This is where the teacher is gonna check and make sure that the student has the right name. They're going to check that everything is the way it needs to be, that you're the right kid, you're the place you're supposed to be. Make sure that when your student is in the waiting room, or students, when you were in the waiting room, okay, keep an eye on that chat too, because I know I personally sometimes will send messages in the chat to the waiting room. Say, hey, double check your last name. Make sure you have this item ready. So keep an eye on that chat. Don't just turn it on and then go walk away, all right? Again, 5 minutes before class, you should be logged in, hanging out in that waiting room, getting your supplies ready. You got your water, you know, whatever it is that you need, your pencil, all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's talk about getting into the classroom. Next slide, please. Perfect, there we go. Okay, so here's a couple of shots of what it looks like when you're inside. This is the gallery mode example, okay? This is where you'll see, this is from one of our staff meetings, so you can see all the different staff members there, all right? And so you can see everybody that's in the meeting. There'll be options to pin the teacher, things like that, okay? But this is what you will see once you're in. So parents, when you look over their shoulder, if you see this, you know that they're in the meeting and they're where they need to be. Kids, you'll be able to recognize this and see all of your classmates there. All right, next slide, please. All right, so here we got a shot, okay, of a much smaller room. This is more like a breakout room, okay? This is the participation window over here on the right-hand side. You can see all the different people that are in the Zoom. You can see who's there, what their names are. Okay, there's also some different options that we are going to go over. Next slide, please. All right, here we go. So you're in. What do I do next? First of all, mute yourself if you have not already. Okay, double check that mute button. Make sure that it's clicked so that way all that background noise isn't going off. If you got other things, you got little brothers or sisters screaming in the background, maybe big brothers and sisters. I don't know. I mean, anybody could be really. So make sure you check that mute button, okay? Also, make sure you got everything you need. Make sure that that camera is working and ready to go. All right, familiarize yourself with all of the participants, what's going on. Make sure that you're checking that chat. The teacher might have some stuff already ready for you to go, okay? These are just some of the first check stuff that you should do when you first get into the class. All right, next slide, please. So now we're going to talk about some commonly used Zoom functions, all right? All the cool stuff that you can do inside. All right, first thing we got is that video button. All right, that wonderful video button. Your teacher will tell you whether they want it on or off. I know if you're in PE, you're going to need to have that camera on so I can make sure, and Coach Craig can make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing the way you need to be doing it. Everybody's being safe. Okay, other teachers will have it on. Maybe they'll be playing a game. When you get eliminated, maybe then you turn your camera off, different things like that. All right, so make sure that we know where that camera button is. All right, also, if you look on that screen there, you can see that there's some fun different background options that you can do. Okay, and that's fine, that's great, but make sure that we're doing appropriate stuff, all right? Make sure that you got some good, wholesome things back there. Some Coach Craig really likes to put on like fish tanks and sports stadiums, okay? All that stuff is fun. All right, cool. So let's talk next about the mute and unmute, okay? I know we talked about that a little bit before, but make sure you test it out, all right? There's some different options inside of that microphone button. Familiarize yourself with what's going on, double check, make sure it works, okay? Talk to the teachers, say, hey, is it working? So that way, especially this first week when we're first getting into class, that we make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to, okay? Double check, do those pre-Zoom checks. All right, next slide, please. All right, now the chat box, the wonderful chat box. All right, students, I know you're super excited. You're like, this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to chat with all my friends throughout the class, and we'll talk about the teacher and all this kind of stuff. All right, that is not what the chat box is for, okay? The chat box is to ask questions to the teacher, to clarify things, okay? Make sure that you know what's going on, all right? So make sure that when that chat box is open, that you are using it appropriately. You know where it is, okay? The button is on the bottom. The chat box will pop up on the right, okay? You can private message that teacher, all right? So make sure that you familiarize yourself with that also. Next slide, please. All right, and then again, here's those participants. All right, you can see all the people in your class. You can see who's there, what their names are. All right, all the different people that you are furthering your education with. Next slide, please. Cool. All right, now here's some fun little buttons. All right, I know I personally love to have the students use these. Just to make sure they're paying attention. They can vote. There's a yes button, a no button. There's a raise hand button, which is wonderful. So make sure that we know where those are, how to use them. Your teachers will go over it with the students in there. All right, but that's those buttons, and they will be used frequently. So make sure we know where they are. They're going to be there in that participation window. Next slide,
Great.
Please.
Thank you. And to talk about those buttons a little bit more, thanks, Coach Oxford.
You're very welcome.
As he mentioned, with the raise hand buttons, each of the buttons, once you click on them and your teacher calls on you, with the raise hand, for example, you would raise your hand, the teacher calls on you, you unmute yourself, you speak and say what you need to do, and then you want to unclick the raise hand button so it comes off also. If you don't unclick it, it just shows your hands raised like the entire time, and you might keep getting asked on, do you have a question? Do you have a question? Do you have a question? And you're like, oh no, I forgot to turn that off. So make sure after you answer your question, you click the off button. As Coach Oxford mentioned, the yes and the no buttons are great for getting participation and feedback. Also the thumbs up and thumbs down. Same thing though, once you answer the question with a thumbs up, after the question is being answered, go ahead and click it off again so that way it's blank. And you get to those features by hitting the participation button with that. Okay. The next feature we're going to talk about is the breakout rooms. So when we're in the giant gallery session together with everybody, it's a large group setting, and we want to provide opportunities to have smaller, more intimate discussions that maybe are more content specific or with sharing personal examples. And that's what a breakout room can do for us. So it takes our big class section and it breaks it into smaller chunks. So you might have anywhere between 3 to 5 to 7 breakout rooms, depending on which class you're in and what the target and expectation is for the breakout rooms. So in those smaller breakout rooms, you will either get pushed immediately, so the teacher can push you directly into there. Your screen will go dark and then it'll open back up and show that you're in the breakout room. Or a window will pop up and say, oh, you're going to be asked to go to breakout room whatever number. And then you click yes and you go to that breakout room. As you're transitioning to these breakout rooms, again, same rules apply. We're still in school talking together, using proper vocabulary, encouragement. Teachers will be popping in and out of the breakout rooms to check in with you guys to see how you're doing. And if you have any questions and you need help while you're in the breakout room, you can push the Ask for Help button, which is located right there at the bottom of the breakout room window. So with that, you can talk and chat directly to the teacher. So that way, if the teacher's not in your breakout room, they can come and pop in there, or they can chat to you directly from that. All right. Our Zoom expectation slide, this slide you should be getting very familiar with. All of us on all your classes and all of your teachers will be sharing it with their different Bitmojis or combination thereof. But just some common expectations that we hope to use while we're using this platform to deliver distance learning. So as we mentioned, be on time, not only on time, be early, right? 5 minutes early. Just be in that waiting room, make sure you have all your stuff ready and you're good to go. Finding a quiet place to be, or as quiet as possible. Maybe it's in your bedroom, maybe it's in the living room, maybe it's in the kitchen, maybe it's in the outside. Maybe the outside's nice and quiet for you and you got your Wi-Fi out there. So wherever you're at, just try and find a quiet and reasonable space. Headphones are also another good suggestion. I know Coach Craig has some on right now. That's a great way to help yourself stay focused and in the zone. Be prepared. So being prepared with your computer being charged, right? Making sure your mic works, make sure you have all your materials, make sure you have your notebook, like Coach Oxford mentioned before too, your notebook and your pens and pencils and everything. With our presentation, we want to make sure we are dressing appropriately, whether you have your video camera on or not. We would like to see your faces. We would like to see you and interact with you. So whether you're choosing to wear your uniform or another pair of clothing, be dressed, be appropriate, do your hair, brush your teeth. You know, when you look good, you feel good. When you're excited to be there, you're more likely to want to answer and participate, just as if we were face-to-face in or IRL, right, in real life together. Muting yourself. As we mentioned, we always want to be on default mute just for no background noises, random things in the background, but also to help you stay focused. When it is your time to share, as we said, raise your hand, then you can unmute yourself after the teacher calls on you, and then you mute yourself again. So we're gonna be pretty good at that by the time this Zoom-ness is done. Participation, we want you to participate, right? We're not in the same room together, but we can still interact together. So whether it's using those commonly used functions, the raising hand, the check yes or no, the thumbs up or down, some of the reaction features, the clapping or the thumbs up when you agree with something, participate and be involved. You don't have to say something every time, but make it a goal maybe to speak up at least once a week in each of your classes to say something, whether it's in the small group or in the big class session. We mentioned the chatting responsibility. Thanks, Coach Oxford. On that, all of our chats are recorded. So what you say can be used against you, I guess, if you're not using appropriate language or vocabulary. So please, better to not say anything than to say something that might get you in trouble a little bit later. As I like to remind us, kind words are no words, right? So let's be kind with our conversations when we're asking for help, whether you're talking directly to the instructor or if you're posing a question or giving feedback for the whole class. And then to communicate respectfully. Again, being just like if we were on campus, we want to be kind and polite and respectful and just have a good time while we're here together. These last few shots, just remember, just as if we were in school, we don't want to take screenshots of the Zoom. For students, that is not allowed. So please make sure you're not taking screenshots and then putting them on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or other different things, because some students don't have permission to share out their images. If our classes ever did do that, or if we were doing an experiment in science, for example, we would make sure everybody had permission to share before we took a screenshot in any of our classes. But we are not allowing students to take screenshots and post on their own social media or to keep for their own purposes. So just be mindful of that. You don't want to do that, and a teacher will only ask to do that for educational purposes. Recommended devices. It's very important, as we're all in distance learning right now, so that each child has one computer. So if you have multiple children, your schools, or our school, if you have multiple children in our school, will provide electronic devices for you. So please make sure one child has one device, and if you need a laptop or computer, you can contact Mr. Dennis. I think we have his email on a future slide too about that. Tablets and the tablet app, you can use multiple devices to access Zoom, whether it's a tablet or a phone, as the next slide will share. But we highly recommend a laptop computer or a desktop as the primary source. And so again, in a pinch, or if there's an emergency, or if something else happens, by being on other mobile devices, there might be less features that you can utilize, but you can still access the content that way. And again, Mr. Dennis's email is located here if you need to ask about renting or borrowing a computer, checking that out from the office. As we mentioned with our learning environment, having a calm space. Maybe you've already created your school space already. Maybe you haven't yet and you're still getting excited about that. But having a nice, calm place to work, making sure it's clean and organized, you have all your materials with you, minimizing distractions. Distractions could be your phone, putting that on mute, putting it to the side, putting your phone in another room, while you're doing your live session so that you're focused and then you can check it on it later. Minimizing distractions, turning off the television, right? Turning off the radio, making sure that you're focused and attentive to what you're doing. The headphones, again, can be very helpful if your mic is having some issues or if you want to just help to focus your energy and attention like that. And then, as I mentioned, cell phone. Put it away for now. It's okay. For parents, this is for parents to check in with your student. With distance learning, a lot of what I've noticed and what some of the other teachers that we've shared, we've experienced, we're not there as the teacher to check in with them, how they're doing throughout the day, multiple times and touch points there. That's where the parent really gets to come in and check in to make sure they're on task. How are you doing? What's going on? Where are you at right now? Just quick little check-ins to see how they're doing. So asking if their internet's going fine, if they've had any glitch issues, do they need any more paper or water? Seeing how they're doing during scheduled breaks times at the end of the day. And then if you have any questions at all, email is the best way to contact your teacher so we can get to those issues and help you out with those as quickly as possible. Other Zoom tips here. Posting the student's schedule for easy viewing. So that's printing it out, right? So printing out the schedule, putting it on, people have mentioned the refrigerator, on a mirror in the bathroom, on your door to your bedroom, so it's right there next to you. So you can see it and you know where you need to be and when you need to be there. Parents are welcome to sit in the backs of the room or to have the door open so they can walk by and listen every once in a while to see what's going on. But the person who signs into the Zoom session does need to be the student with the student's Gmail account. Otherwise, you will not have access to the Zoom session. That's where MSA only emails will be able to enter the meeting. And if you're having some trouble there, because again, we're all in this together. This is a new online time for everyone. But if you're having some troubles with connectivity, check out Google really quick. Ask questions to Google or YouTube. Chat in the Google Classroom. Maybe some of your peers are having similar issues. Oh, I didn't push that button, or I pushed this button instead and I was able to fix that. Sometimes it might just be as easy if you're having connectivity issues to log out of the Zoom, close it, and then to log back in. Or try logging off on your computer and log back in. If those issues continue to persist, then you can contact the office and let them know why and what happened for you to miss a live Zoom session. And then this one, the biggest thing about this one also too, with making sure we log in with the MSA accounts, is because we want to prevent Zoom bombers. So that's when somebody comes in with fake credentials and then takes over the screen and causes the ruckus, and we want to stay away from that. So we want to make sure everybody's properly credentialed with their MSA accounts and that we're all ready to learn in a safe and conductive for learning safe environment. Cool. So again, like we mentioned, we're all learners. We're trying to figure out how to do this distance engagement and having fun at the same time together. So thank you in advance for coming to our session, and giving that back to you, Coach Craig.
Yeah, that was a lot of information, probably a little bit overwhelming, but like we said before, if you joined the live late, this video will be on YouTube for you to watch, and Facebook later on if you want to review it. But before we go, let's see if we had any really good questions that we could share.
This is awesome. There's a lot of awesome information that our parents, including me, will use, if they actually run into problems. And also, as a parent, I would also want to advise my student with some of those Zoom etiquette that Mrs. Watkins also shared with us today. So I'm really excited, and hopefully we can get to see that in action with our students on Monday. So, but we need to make sure that we have our students all straight away ready for Monday. Miss Kiefer has a question.
Yes. Yeah, so she asked about passwords for each Zoom meeting. There's not a password. Your student just needs to log in with their school email and click on that Bitmoji for their teacher. Those were sent out to parents through email and Parent Square on Wednesday. So double check your email. If you did not receive that, you're going to want to call the front office to make sure you get that information before
And
Monday.
with that, not having a
Really
password,
good question.
your Google MSA email kind of is your password, because if you don't have that, you're not getting into the link.
So that's kind of like the authentication of, to verify that you are a student. So no need to password. As soon as you hit the link of Zoom, it's gonna let you into the. Did you mention that waiting room right away, right, Coach Greg? When they they should see wait for the teachers to let you in or whatever. Yes, that
They
is.
get that. They're good to go. They're in the right place. They just need to be patient.
Yes.
Someone brought up, Norma brought up a question about Illuminate. If you don't know what Illuminate is, that's our grade book, and it's where we keep all of the student information. If you're interested in learning more about Illuminate, we have a session tomorrow night at 5, same location on Miss White's YouTube and Facebook page if you want to tune into that. How your students get into Illuminate, you were also sent a password reset from our front office, so they can get in and look at their schedule for this year. So same thing, if you haven't gotten that, double check your email and then contact the front office as soon as you can tomorrow.
They can also log in. I think for the student, I think they need the student email in order for them to log into the Illuminate student login. And then for parents, you need to have a code in order for you to create your account, which we will also share with you guys tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon. Sweet.
Just to clarify, a couple parents asked about the schedule. I know it says SSR/advisory for announcements, but we thought it would be easier just to head to your first period. So students on Monday, they will click the Zoom for their first period teacher and at 8 o'clock, and that's where they will get their announcements and their Google Classroom codes and get ready to roll for the rest of the day.
Yes, and Coach Craig, we have a bonus because on Sunday night, I will broadcast for about 15 minutes to inform everybody what they should be doing at the very beginning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully, if you hit the notification and I go on live on Sunday night, just the last few reminders for MSA students. Hopefully you guys will be able to do that. So you'll be ready on Monday, and we eliminate getting lost along the way because we don't have any more hallways and room numbers. So watch out for that.
Great.
I don't know who brought it up, but it's something that I thought of too. Parents were sent these Zoom links, but the parent's not going to be logging in. So you can email that distance learning guide and Zoom link page with the Bitmojis, email it to your kid's email. And then also, I think I'll share this with our teachers tomorrow. We will send them out to the students' email as well. So we make sure they have those for themselves.
Coach Craig, there's one here. I attempted to email the Zoom links to my son's school email and it returned it as blocked.
I wonder if that's because it's just for in-house, like MSA emails. So we will definitely, I'll talk to the teachers tomorrow because we have a meeting at 9 a.m. We will make sure we email it directly to the students now that we know that that is a problem, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really important. Thank you.
What else do we have here?
There's something about the Bitmoji, Coach Greg. This one. If you're having trouble clicking the Bitmoji to enter the classroom, is there another way to get there? Like a list of Zoom numbers? Or maybe they're talking about the meeting IDs. Do you think that we could also include that?
They shouldn't need that if they have the Zoom URL. They should just be able to click that.
Click that. Okay.
So if you're having trouble with the document, the distance learning guide with the Zoom links, and you can't click on the Bitmojis, send an email to your grade level lead teacher. So for 8th grade, that's me. For 7th grade, that's Mr. Wirtz.
Mm-hmm.
And 6th grade is Mr. Swift. And they can help you out because maybe you can't open Google Docs or something like that is messed up. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's take a look a little bit more.
Carmina actually has a really good strategy here. She said she made a calendar for her son, Nick. Shout out. Hey, Nick. She made a calendar with the Zoom links in it. So he can see like, oh, 8 o'clock is Miss Craig for PE, or I don't know if I have him first period, but whoever he has, he just clicks on the person and goes to it. That's a really good tip. Thank you, Carmina.
Yeah. And there's a visual too of the teacher. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Great idea. And Yanti just came in late. Just for anybody who just showed up, this is going to be on YouTube forever, unless Miss White decides to delete it someday. But yeah, you can just click on this link and rewind back to the beginning, and you can watch it anytime you need to get a refresher on Zoom.
Hi, Ms. Jackson.
All right. I don't think we have any more questions yet. If you do have a question, make sure to type it in the chat real quick.
Awesome. Let's wait for a few minutes. I mean, you guys, are you guys excited on Monday?
Yeah, I am. I mean, again, I like the gallery mode, like Coach Oxford mentioned, because then you can see everybody.
Yeah.
Even though there might be multiple people. Another good tip Coach Oxford says was you could pin your teacher. So that way, like when you click on it, on the 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner up here, you can push pin. And that way, even when you change between the pages to see your peers, your teacher's still there. So that's an important feature. You can also size things differently too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Coach Craig mentioned in some of her slides and other slides, as we'll talk to you about how to use Zoom, you might want to have 2 windows open, one for Zoom and then one for like the document or the Google Classroom or the activity that you're doing with your class. So these are all things we're going to learn together. It takes practice, but like Ms. Kiefer shared, we're all going to share tips and suggestions, and even among our teachers. Hey, I tried this with my class. Maybe you should try that with yours. Or, oh, that's great. Let's use that for all of our classes, and some best practices here. So that's what I'm really excited about. Learning how to use this efficiently, effectively, and funly, if that's a word. And then sharing some of those skills with others.
Yeah, for sure. And don't worry, parents, this whole week in our live Zooms, we are literally training the kids how to use all the buttons, what to do if something goes wrong, how to find things in Google Classroom. So by the end of the week, hopefully they're pros and they can show you what they're doing. We do have one, question from Miss Kiefer. How can you get the daily Google Classroom reminders for assignments? For students, if they go to their Google Classroom, they go to each class on the left side, it actually says upcoming assignments. So that could be really helpful. And parents, once your students during class on Monday and Tuesday get into all their Google Classrooms, the teachers will actually assign their parents as guardians. So if you accept that when you get the email, you will get an email once a week, or if you want it daily, you get to pick with reminders of what's coming up and what's due soon. So you can kind of stay on top of it with your student.
Yeah, and also Coach Craig, the week at a glance also has information of what the assignment is going to be. That's going to be posted on Google Classroom as well.
Yes, I forgot about that. We have information in a lot of places, hoping that you'll find it somewhere at least. The week at a glance is on our MSA website, And it was sent in that email with the Zoom links to parents. That is a live document. So if you're looking at it right now, it's probably blank. But on Sunday at noon, every week, we'll be updating that. So you can look at it on Sunday evening with your student and say, ooh, look what's coming up this week, and get kind of prepared for those assignments and those activities.
Yes, that is awesome. So there's a lot of things. I'm so excited. I'm happy that we were able to provide this for our parents. And for our parents, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, to your students' teachers, when you run into any problems, as much as possible, so that we can reach out to you, help you out. Again, Mrs. Watkins kept mentioning we're all in this together. You're not going to be alone at home. You're not going to be. We'll make it easy for everyone. We are going to be hand in hand together. And thank you so much. If you have any other questions after the live session, we will be able to answer it. Just type it in the chat. And any parting words for our parents, words of encouragement, inspiration,
yes. Perfect timing, because Lisa just brought up that she's maybe a little intimidated by the technology. And I would say you are not alone. A lot of our teachers are in the same boat. We're all learning as we go. My advice is to go in early, practice, play around with things to get familiar. And when in doubt, there's 2 ways you can find out anything on earth. Google it and YouTube it. You will find the answer 9 times out of 10. If something's not working, type it directly into Google, and it will, someone on some Reddit chat somewhere will give you the answer.
That's a great advice. Any additional advice, Miss Watkins, Miss Jackson, Miss Tracy, Coach Oxford?
No, just make sure your things are charged up. That's probably the biggest thing. Charge it the night before. Keep it plugged in while you're in the sessions. But
yep, exactly.
Yep. My advice would be communicate. Communicate with your teachers. Communicate with the front office. Let them know what's going on. Okay. Don't sit in the dark and feel like you have to do this alone, because we are all here to help. We understand we have issues with our technology too, with what's going on, and we're all getting on the same page. So communicate, tell us what's going on, let us help you. Okay, let the office help you. All right, and just take a deep breath.
And like
we're gonna get through this.
And like I said
great.
on the previous workshop, stay calm. I don't know. Yeah, I was late on the Zoom meeting, but stay calm.
Yes. When you get flustered and stressed out, nothing goes right. So just take a deep breath, restart it, Google it, YouTube it, and we'll get you through it.
Yeah. And, worst case is if let's say, for example, you can't access Zoom, there's no hope or anything like that, just shoot an email, calm down. Teachers are flexible. If your student may have missed a first 10 minutes of the class, that's totally okay. Just, just keep calm and keep cool. And we are very, very flexible in terms of any technical difficulties, because this isn't live. We are like separated by our screens, by internet connection. So we will be very much understanding with whatever issues you may run into at home. Oh, Miss Jackson, you have your cutie pie over there. That's awesome.
Ready.
That's awesome.
I like Mr. Agasani's keep calm and wizard forward. Great.
All right.
Wizard on?
Wizard forward.
It's the wizard way. For those of you new parents, we are the wizards at our school. So that's our mascot. So
home of the wizards. And this is our wizard master, Mr. Agasani.
Great.
That's awesome. All right. So anything else that we may have missed about our Zoom? Because tomorrow we'll get together again, Miss White Science Online, for Illuminate Parent Workshop. So we have 4 fantastic MSA teachers again presenting for us for Illuminate workshop. So hopefully we get to see you guys. Miss Watkins, Coach Oxford, Mrs. Jackson, Miss Tracy, and Coach Greg. Awesome job, phenomenal. Thank you so much for presenting for us tonight. And we'll see you at the backstage because we are going to close our live awesome session. See you in a bit, guys. So I hope this is helpful for everyone. Again, if you may have missed our session today, you can always go back to our YouTube channel, Ginang White Science Online. Ginang is a Tagalog word that means Mrs. Or in Mrs. White Science Online live on Facebook page, on my Facebook page. And also we have our MSA San Diego Facebook page also. We've already posted that as well. So please go back and watch, and hopefully we get to see you guys tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon for our Illuminate workshop. Thank you so much for watching, and we are going to see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. will be our third parent workshop on Illuminate Education Parent Portal. We will show and demo its essential features such as registering to create an account, student schedules, grades, attendance, and many more. We will also share some tips for parents to help their students strive for academic success during distance learning. We hope to see you then on Mrs. White Science Live.